Hi, I'm Paweł Spychalski, and first of all I would like to thank all my Patreon and YouTube supporters for their backing. If you're not one of them, then please consider becoming one for as little as $2 a month. When earlier this year DJI announced that it's stopping doing any accessories for the DJI FPV system, and by accessories I mean cameras and air units, there was something like a small panic on the market. Luckily, that was not really the end of the system, because Cadx is right now doing everything for the DJI FPV system, besides goggles. They produce big air units, small Vistas, Nebulas, Nebulas Pro, Nebulas Nano, and now they are only making the new camera for the system, which is called Polar. What is Caddx Polar? Well, it's just another camera you can connect to your Vista or the DJI or Cadx air unit. According to Cadx itself, the quality provided by the Polar is somewhere between the Nebula, which is not great, and the Nebula Pro, which is great, on par with the original DJI camera, and maybe in some conditions, maybe even slightly better. I was happy enough and lucky enough so that Cadx sent me a sample of the Caddx Polar. Unfortunately, due to the custom duties, I got it only after the camera was put on the market, was officially announced, so my review of the Polar comes like 3 weeks too late. Oh well, it happens. And the summary is that yes, this is what Cadx said to me is absolutely correct, because indeed I do have to say that the Polar quality is between regular Nebula and the Nebula Pro. However, I would have to say that it's closer to the Nebula Pro than to regular Nebula. I am, in general, quite happy with what Polar provides in the daylight. It's okay. Maybe the tint was not 100% fine. There is no option to, for example, rotate the screen on the camera, which in my case was kind of useful, and I kind of regretted that it's not really happening on the Polar. But the daylight flying was okay. If the daylight flying was my only option, I would still choose the Nebula Pro. Maybe slightly more expensive, but yes, provides slightly better video experience. However, where the Polar really shows something that the other DJI compatible cameras lack is the Starlight capability. Yes, the Polar is called the Starlight, so at least in theory you can fly it during the night as long as at least the moon is shining. I tested the Starlight capabilities of Polar a few days ago. Unfortunately, it was extremely short test. Why? Because of the number of the mosquitoes. We got a few rainy weeks, and right now going outside after the sun goes down is no. I had so much repellent on myself that I will smell for like 10 meters and still was swarmed by the mosquitoes. However, I was able to use and suffer for the duration of one lipo to see how the Polar behaves in the night. And I do have to say, yes, this is definitely much nicer night experience than other DJI FPV compatible cameras, and as long as this is not really a full night without any stars, without any lights, without moon, you can fly at night. So definitely a kudos for the Cadx for releasing the Polar, because this is a selling feature for this camera. Not the image quality, which is okay. Let me rephrase that. The image quality during the daylight is okay. I have nothing against it. I still do think that the Nebula Pro is better, but still the Polar is much better than the original Nebula. But the real killer feature is, you can fly at night with the Polar. Before we will proceed, do you know that I have a second YouTube channel with slightly different type of the content? Please go there, check it out. Maybe you will like what you see. And now something that probably at least few of you were waiting, it's the giveaway. The Cadx is giving through my channel, through this video, 2 units of the Caddx Polar camera. Not the camera plus Vista? No, but only the camera. The rules are simple. There is a link in the description of this video. Go there, leave your email and leave your shipping information, and in 5 days after the video is officially released, I will send your shipping information to Cadx. So yeah, you kind of have to agree that I will share your shipping information with Cadx, and Cadx will send 2 winners the 1 unit of the Caddx Polar camera. Relatively simple, but you do have to share your shipping information with Cadx itself, and I hope I really put that in the description of the form when you can leave your email and the shipping information. Oh yeah. Remember what I told you about the flies and the mosquitoes? It's really like a lot of them. So, overall verdict of the Polar? Yes, especially low light quality, night flying, evening flying, morning flying, all the situation when there is just not enough of the light for the other DJI compatible cameras to work. Yes, the image gets somehow blurry and you lose some of the details, but you can fly during the night. I was flying like more than 1 hour after the sundown and it was still 100% fine. And I hope the FPV footage recorded with the goggles really show that to you. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next one. Bye bye.